Alright guys, welcome to Manifest Mowing. I'm Jay Morgan. Let's make the vision a reality. So in today's video, we're going to talk about spring cleanup, pricing. What is spring cleanup? What is it? What it is not? The thing that brought on the topic for this video is I got a text today from one of my regular customers, and she wants her first mow of the year. Luckily, she's not that far away from where I was at. I was only like a mile and a half away. So I drove by and I took a look at her property for the reason being of how I need to charge her. See guys, because a lot of these customers are going to be real tricky with you. Be aware of the customer that called you for the first mow of the year and it's like April. A lot of times these customers will stop getting their grass mowed really premature from the season before. Like say the grass is still growing in September, even in October. They'll have their last guy stop at the beginning of September, say the season's over. So it'll stop growing, but it's still long. It'll die, but it'll still be tall. Then what they'll do is push it out as late as they can going into spring when it's really starting to get out of control. And they'll call you for the first mow of the season. Now with regular customers of yours, this is not going to be a problem because you mowed it last and you know when they cut off service. So you can just price it accordingly. But for people that are new and they hit you up, go by, take a look at it, guys. You'll be able to tell. If there's a lot of leaves on the ground still, sticks, debris from the fall, you can tell you've been mowing properties and you're like, golly, this lawn's almost 10 inches tall. They stopped early and they waited a long time. And you price them accordingly, guys. I mean, the standard rate going a lot of other lawn companies in my area, you can look it up in your area, do the research. Once the grass is over 6 inches tall, it's an additional charge. Usually 50% of what the original price is. But that just depends on what you want to charge. A lot of them in my area from 6 to 12 inches, it's additional 50%. For me, I draw the line at 6 to 8. Once you get to 12 inches and taller, it's 100%. Those are my prices. Find something that works for you. And that's just to get the grass cut. So if somebody calls me and it's the first mow of the season and their grass is 12 inches tall and say it's a quarter-acre lot, and normally I would charge like 50 for it, I could go as high as 85 to 100. But it just really depends, guys. What works best for you and what's in your area. Like, cause if say the lot size has a lot to do with it. If we're talking about like a half acre, it is over 12 inches, I could go as high as 150, 125. Because there's gonna be extra wear and tear on your equipment. You got to cross cut it, go over multiple times, and you're gonna use a bunch of fuel. So that's just mowing tips for your first mow of the season. Like, don't be duped by these customers that waited a long time to get their first mow of the season and they stopped getting their grass cut prematurely for the end of the season. Now, what is spring cleanup? Spring cleanup is essentially going to be like fall cleanup. Like, I'll show you guys a photo of a property I have right here. Alright guys, this is one of my properties I did at the very beginning of October. As you can see, the leaves are still green. They haven't begun to fall at all, really. It just started. So this is what it could look like in the springtime. Debris left over from when people didn't get it done in the fall. See the sticks, all the leaves in the beds right there, that's going to come up. All the sticks and all the stuff off the driveway. Everything under the mulch bed right here, you're going to get that out. Everything off the driveway. And then we're going to pivot to the front yard and all the beds right here to the trees. You're going to get all that out. And then you're going to mow the grass. You don't do the hedges and you don't haul off any leaves. That's the spring cleanup. This was actually a fall cleanup I did, but it's really early in the season in October. You could have a spring cleanup that looks just like this. Essentially, you still have some leaves on the ground, but it's not too much. You got leaves in the flower bed. You're going to get those out. And that's essentially what it is. You get all the leaves off the mulch, out of the beds, into the yard. You're going to mulch it up. At the beginning, it might look something like this. And then when you're done, it looks something like this. See guys, everything's all cleaned up. It's nice, it's neat, it's trim. Once again though guys, that's getting up the sticks, the leaves, anything that would have fallen from the fall into the property. And you're gonna clean that up. But it's not gonna be excessive like say maybe a property like this. Like that's a fall cleanup that they just never got taken care of. They let all the leaves fall and it just sat all season. Now that's going to be just an overhaul charge in general, and the price is going to reflect that. So let's look at some numbers for what a spring cleanup should look like. And these are going to be really for spring and or fall. We'll do some dissections, we'll break it down. Alright guys, I pulled this off Angie's List. It's a price guide breakdown for fall and spring cleanups. And if you look, it's going to break down by the size of the property. This is a typical price range customers are typically paying. And this is fall or spring. It's getting up the sticks, the pine cones, all the stuff out of the mulch bed, the leaves. But this is mulching up the leaves, guys. This is not what you would charge if you would have to haul off the leaves. And this is not what you were going to charge if you had to trim the hedges. That's going to be a separate price. But look, and if you don't know the acreage, you can look up the square footage of a property and convert it over. And I'm going to show you another chart right here. Now guys, in the event that you did have to trim the hedges or haul off the leaves, use a guide like this as your reference point. Like I said, look up your area. So say if you're doing $250 to $300 for a fall or spring cleanup, and you're doing the things we named. You're getting the stuff out of the beds, you're getting up the pine cones, the sticks, you're mulching the leaves, and the customer has some leaves they want hauled off. You would add whatever price you decide to charge for the leaf removal on top of your cleanup. So if you're doing $200 for the leaf removal on top of your $300 for the cleanup, that's $500. Say if they decide for you to trim the hedges. Like right here, it says they can charge, it says right here, customers pay between $75 to $850 to get hedges done. In my experience, like I said, I charge $75 to $85 per hour. So if it takes me an hour and a half, I'll add that on top of the leaf removal job, on top of the price of the job. And what you'll realize, guys, is when you know your numbers, customers will know that you know your numbers because they've talked to other people, and they'll respect you because they know you know your business. They've told me a lot of times, like, okay, you're real competitive with some other numbers I've heard from other companies. And that's just because I did my research. When you go in and you're not lowballing, you can get what you deserve, because a lot of times these customers know what these services cost. But if they can get you to do it for cheap, they will. And guys, if you pay attention, nowhere on this list does it say lawn mowing for $20, $25, $30. It says $50 to $200. That's why I always tell you guys to set a minimum price. Standard industry practice has a minimum. Just because the customer just wants you to do a front yard this small doesn't mean you should do it for $25. Alright guys, but like I always say, research. See what the going rates are for your area. Find a place in the middle where you like to live. Figure out what your time is worth, how much you want to charge, and go for what you know, guys. I hope this helped you out. Good hunting this spring and all season. As always, guys, please like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you on the next one.